You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our featured presentation.
I'm the man, and the man feels no pressure. I am the man that everyone fears.
You are now entering the vicious circle.
You are facing a fuel-injected suicide machine!
I'm the man. When I walk, the ground shakes. I am the master. I am the ruler of the world. They have been waiting below the surface. Shake the earth of these giants. Shake the earth of these giants.
It's been a while since we heard that. How you doing, Sid?
Good, Rob. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing great. Yeah, we weren't here last week.
That's right. We had a couple in the can,
Yes, thank goodness.
but that's what you and I've been talking about. I want to try to get this current, and I'm learning as I go with this podcast stuff. You know, trying to see what is everyone listening right now, Rob?
Yeah, there.
Okay. All right.
Jeremy,
So if anyone has a good idea about how to, we're going to try to make these podcasts. Say the one we're doing right now, make it for tonight that we'll edit and put on for our live show. We like to use, say, some of these remote ones like this to, promote our ones on Sunday sometimes. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So we're just we're trying different ways, thinking of different things. If anyone has got an idea, throw it at us. What you think? We're thinking about doing one on Wednesday nights, watching wrestling and talking about wrestling as it's going on. Does anyone think about that? Or should we do it the day after the wrestling shows? But we're just trying to do some different stuff for everyone because, again, I'm learning as I'm going with the podcast stuff.
Yes, and Andy even says Happy Survivor Series Sunday. Yeah, it is.
All right, yeah.
Oh, and Greg says, "Hey, Robin, Sid, our evil doctor, Dr. Steve."
Hey, Dr. Stevel.
Yep. Joel Bateman is here. Let me see who else. Jeremy is here. This one, Andy, is from, how do you say that? Leicester, UK?
Yeah.
I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm not sure. And then Jeremy said, "Thanks for being on live. It's been a while since you guys were here on live." Yeah,
Well, hey, Jeremy, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm learning again as I go with this podcast stuff, and Rob's not helping me a whole lot. What I'm trying to do is, if I'm doing this one right now, and I want this one to be aired tonight for our live one, then if we keep some in the can, but we've had this deal working with these questions going from one to wherever we're trying to end up at, we're adding the spots as well. So we're just trying to figure out how to keep some of those generic ones like that in the can, just in case something happens. I want to give out as many live ones as we can, keep current and keep everything going.
absolutely.
So this is as much as you guys want to listen to, we'll try to put out as much stuff as for you people to listen to.
Craig, I made a reference to Survivor Series. He goes, "I'm not watching this year's 96 all the way. Cheers from Australia."
Way to go, man.
And there we go. Jeff Morton said, "One of my favorite Survivor Series when Sid beat Shawn Michaels."
Now, again, I thought that was SummerSlam, so that was Survivor Series.
I think it was Survivor Series.
I'm sure it was if they say it is. See, again, I thought that was SummerSlam.
Yeah, I don't think it was SummerSlam. I think they're right. And then Ahan here said something to us, but unfortunately it's in a different language.
Okay, I did that today writing, so.
Yeah, you were talking in African. That was cool.
That was pretty cool.
And then Val up here, I missed it and I want to get it. She goes, "Hey guys, missed you."
Hey, Val. Again, that's what we're trying to. I mean, we could have done another one last Sunday, but I don't want to have episodes that are so far back that we're talking about things that have already happened. Like, today we're going to, I guess we can say that the election's over.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
it's funny. No one's, everyone's scared to say it here. I don't know what the deal is, but either side doesn't want to take, they don't want to say it is over. The other one don't want to say I won. It's like, it's crazy. And none of the, parties each side aren't saying anything. It's like, and I hope this hasn't ever happened before, but anyway, I guess we could hold this in the can too. It might be another couple months for this is over with.
Exactly. Where did it go? Tommy King said, "Happy to see a fellow Arkansas Sawyer."
All right, Tommy.
I'm sure that's a word.
Arkansan, or should be the Ark.
Yeah, Arkansan. And then James here, he asked, "How fun was it to powerbomb Shawn Michaels 3 times on Raw?" One of my favorite moments of yours.
It was fun, and again with Shawn, he made it fun. He made that power bomb mean more than it did. He got up for it. He sold it. Again, it was, but that's what I've said about Shawn. He was getting like that. He probably is the one suggested for me to give him 3 power bombs.
Really?
I would say that. I mean, again, he was, to me, he was one of the most giving people in the ring. Really easy to work with, but that's how you make your opponent. If you don't do anything to help them get over, you don't do anything for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn knew that better than anyone.
Andy here said, I used the gif of you saying, "Who's the man?" and the pyro spelling it out. And JR said it best, SID, suddenly I'm dominant.
Right. Hey, did anyone listen to any of those songs we talked about? This is something too. This is hard for me to keep up with everything because I don't know where I'm at on some of the things we talked about. Has anyone listened to any of the songs we last talked about?
I know Val mentioned she did.
Right. Val says she did.
I think that was the only one I remember seeing. So we'll see if some people can answer in on that. Grab a question here from Brian while we're waiting. Do you think they should have waited till there were live fans to have Taker retire? Or do you think he'll eventually be back when fans are allowed back in?
That's something me and Larry, guy helps us with our Instagram account a little bit. We're talking about earlier. I don't think they're going to, I don't know. I thought, honestly, myself, I thought some of these matches over the last 5 years were some of the ones that were his last ones, because this has been said so many times. But this is what I believe, and I'm sure almost, again, I'm pretty good at predicting. This is what happens, everyone. They're in a tight right now. And Mark is one of the, biggest and best names they got. He's equally as good, no matter how old he's been around, equally as important as anyone name they have on the contract right now. So he's doing, what he's always done, and that's the company thing, and just that's to be a team player and try to pull something out. I would, like a lot of people would say, probably wait till, do a live one. Again, I thought the one with Brock years ago was the last one. But it don't matter because but it's good to have him on the card. But that's what's happening. It's that's a hard one to call for me. I figure that he'll want to do it in a live deal. But again, I thought it was already over. I feel like this is just him trying to help the pay-per-view to be a better pay-per-view.
Okay, that's yeah, I can see that. Cheryl Scott said, "I listened to Dwight's Purple Rain."
Oh, how do you like that, Cheryl?
Yeah, let us know, Cheryl. I know I listened to it, and I think he did an amazing job covering that song.
Hey, and is anyone out there has got an interesting song they would like to put up for us to listen to? I'd like to hear it as well. Also, I don't know if anyone, this weekend, the last couple of weekends on PBS, and it's a great vehicle, everyone, to listen to music, especially the one show on Saturday nights called Austin City Limits. It's the longest musical show that's ever run on TV. That's how long it's been going. has had a great group on there last night. So this is how I started my day of music yesterday. 6 in the morning, of course, on the Weevil Bluff City Barn Dance comes on. That's all bluegrass, old bluegrass, the Stanley Brothers and all that. And then went from that to, of course, I listened to Soul Stew, which is is the blues. Then I watched one of the country music documentaries with Ken Burns last night, which just is a heck of a unbelievable roller coaster for history. If you don't like country music, you will watching one of those documentaries. There's not that there's not one of us in this world that hadn't been touched some way by country music. And people don't realize this. Country music came here from the slaves, and that's where the first banjo came from, the fiddle, stuff like that.
And Ken Burns is amazing when it comes to documentaries.
No, there's nothing. This is one of his. I think this is his best one. It's a 10-part series. It's 2 hours of every part. And last night was the third one. It was about Hank Williams and that genre of music, which was the hillbilly music, which they ended up calling it country western. And that's the thing too. It's like the Grand Ole Opry, that the call letters MSG or whatever it was on that was an insurance company that said, hey, the son of the insurance company was smart. He goes, people like this hillbilly music. Let's get a radio station. We'll put our insurance on there and we'll put this hillbilly music. And then that's what eventually become the Grand Ole Opry.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. This thing teaches you everything about country music and where it went to, and where 2 weeks ago it was about the Carter family. And it's just a man and wife and their sister, who the man and wife were actually divorced. They didn't tell anyone, but the first ones got on the radio and started putting their songs out there. It was just hymn music, but that was the first. That's the birth of country music, and that's when we hear this. That's why it's so important to find this stuff out like this. That when we hear about the Carter family and Jimmy Rogers and people like that, they're like the pioneers. Of course, the Carter family is considered the first family of country music. Then after that, it's everyone else. But that's, again, you learn those things, and then you learn that where Grand Ole Opry, how it started, just as a publicity thing. Now it's one of the biggest, longest things that ever been around. So it's just a heck of a. Ken Burns, like you said, he does just great documentaries. But it's been coming on every Saturday night. I don't know if it's coming on a PBS station near anyone, but every week it just gets better and better. I don't want to tip it off, but if you get a chance, if you get a chance to watch that, it's really good.
That's it. I got to watch that this week.
Well, I'm telling you, man, it just, if the ones about he did with the Civil War, the presidents, all that, and the national parks and stuff like that, that's one thing. But this, to me, again, I'm a country music fan because I'm a music fan. But if you're a music fan, you're going to love this show. You're going to go, wow, I didn't know country music was this cool, because it is cool.
I am very anxious to watch it now. Let me see here. Jason's got a quick question for you. Did you ever try and bring the Lord Humongous character anywhere besides Memphis?
Yes, I have. Matter of fact, I tried to bring that back up just a few years ago with the deal with my leg. I actually presented it to the WWE and never heard back from them. Because a character like that could have gone on forever. And I would have to presented it differently. But yeah, I always wanted to do that character again.
That is a cool character. I do like that one. Ballin is here. Ballin's a huge fan of the movie Madhouse. He's constantly doing our lists with us. But he says, hey, Sid, your son should have won Big Brother. I liked his personality.
Yeah, he did really good on there his first time around.
I have to admit, I've never watched Big Brother.
I didn't either till that one time. Rob, second time he's on, I didn't watch it. It was just so, it's tough for a parent to watch too, something like that, where they're all talking about your kid. Of course, me being on TV, I know that's just part of it. But it's still was real proud of how he did the first time around.
We got one here too from Frank Murray. He says, hey, Sid, huge fan from the UK. I'm surprised you didn't get any more movie offers over the years due to your size and stature. But you were in a few. You were in a couple for sure.
Right. But this is the thing is I had to pass up a lot of movies, Frank. For instance, Kevin Nash got the part in the Ninja Turtle movie, which if I could have got a part like that in the beginning of my career, it could have launched off things for me. But I had to be at the shows more than I could be doing movies. and that was at the beginning of my career. And I wasn't going to put anything. I wasn't going to jeopardize my wrestling career for a maybe movie career. You know, if that came along as I was doing the other, yeah, but not. I wasn't going to try to do both.
Yeah, I guess that's true too. Yeah. Do you want to take a chance or do you want to go with what you got? Yeah.
Right.
Both Lori and Cheryl here say, "Hey guys, listen to the Dwight Yoakam album. Good stuff. Loved his Purple Rain version." And Cheryl did the same thing. Dwight did an awesome job. I was pleasantly surprised.
All right. Thanks, girls. Appreciate that.
And where was it? And Andy has a question. I got to ask this in the most respectful way possible and admitted nerd out moment when it happened. When you wrestled on Raw leading up to the 1000th episode and reappearance on the actual Raw 1000, how did you feel about about that call?
It was important to me because, again, they asked me for an interview there, and they asked me I forget what the question was, but the answer was this. I said, "You guys called me," and that's what was important. I never called anybody for a job or a spot, you know. So they called me on that deal. I thought it was actually going to lead to something else, and it didn't, you know. So, but again, it was nice that they called.
Even Craig says, "Why is there no Sid DVD?" That's a curious question, actually, because you got DVDs on everybody.
Right.
Here we go. Joel Bateman says, "I love hearing Raining Blood by Slayer." And he likes Roy Clark. That's a big.
I like Roy. Yeah, that is a big spread there, man. I like Roy Clark too.
Here we go. Craig says, "I love some country stuff, and you should have a go of Aussie singer Adam Brand. Good Friends, great album." There we go.
You know, there's another guy from over Australia, something like that. David Craig or David Gray had a pretty good album out years ago. We'll say he's from Australia.
I just wrote that one down. Adam Brand, Good Friends. There's an album suggestion. What else do we have here? Cheryl said, "Hey Sid, do you ever listen to Steely Dan?"
Yeah, I do. I remember listening to Steely Dan back when they were really popular on the radio when I was a kid, listening to them on the radio at night. That was like one of my greatest. I think I never went to bed without listening to the radio. What was that one Steely Dan when he walked into the room? Remember that? Is that one of them?
Oh, I know that.
It was like he had nothing on, you know.
Oh,
I'm sure that's a Steely Dan one.
I'm gonna look up those lyrics real quick.
Yeah,
because it sounds very familiar.
yeah.
Okay, I'll come back to that one. I'll look it up while we're going through here.
Well, the thing about that is those are the ones that were played almost every night. Steely Dan, Elton John. This, of course, this was all AM music. I did have FM back in the day, but he walked into the room like he had. Doggone it! But I'm sure that's a Steely Dan. But no, yeah, I do listen to Steely Dan. Like he was walking onto a yacht.
Yeah,
he walked into a room like he was walking onto a yacht.
That's gonna drive me crazy now because I can hear that verse in my head.
Right.
No, nothing's coming up. Dang it. Okay. I think Andy's going for a cheap pop here. He said, "I like the Scorpion song China White myself." Great song.
No, I love that build up. It was just that was a great build up. It was a song that gave you plenty of time to get to the ring. You know, I actually used that for my one and only bodybuilding contest I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
Jeremy here says it's pretty cool that you're a big fan of country music, Sid.
Well, country music, man, you can't live in Crittenden County and not be, or live in the South and not listen to country music. That's part of our heritage. Luckily, I'm where I'm at for music. I'm in the middle of the world for music, Memphis, Tennessee. The Triangle, New Orleans, and Nashville, Memphis. There's not a bigger triangle in the whole world for music than that triangle right there. So, I mean, again, the first music there was country and blues and the country western. bluegrass, and then rock and all that came from that, you know. So we're all fans of the blues, and it's well, it all has the same riff, like then Mama said, yeah, then Mama said, oh yeah, then Mama said, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just repeating this, you know, telling the story. You know, that's what a good song is about, and that's what you know, like even they were talking about last night, Woody Guthrie, who was they tagged him as a folk singer because they didn't country music interest. He didn't want him because he was known as a communist. You know, this is back during the Depression. And they said, "Are you a communist?" He goes, "No." He says, "But I have been I've been in the red most of my life." You know who Woody Guthrie is?
Oh yeah, I know Woody Guthrie. I
Yeah.
didn't know that quote though. That's funny.
Yeah.
Where is it here? Joel said, "I'm a metalhead, but I like old school country too."
Yeah. Well, this is old school. It didn't get anything farther than Johnny Cash, you know.
That's an
When he's
interesting
getting
combination, though. Old country and metalhead, like those are so different.
right now, I'll tell you this. Of course, that the Weevil has on Sundays a 2-hour segment called the Cathedral of Rock or something. It's a little too heavy metal for me, but he needs to maybe look that up sometime.
And where is it? Dean. Oh, buddy Dean. He
Hey,
said,
Dean.
"Sid, are you watching Survivor Series tonight? Would you be happy if Sting showed up to interrupt the Taker?"
No, I mean, yeah, I'll just be happy as hell. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't care. But no, I'm not going to watch that tonight, man. I'm going to watch a little football. You know, wrestling to me right now is just no fun to watch. I mean, I don't even buy a pay per view for UFC or something, you know, because they're going to air it anyway.
Yeah, they literally
know.
do. Oh, here we go. Tojo. He said, "Tell Sid I said hi."
Hey, Tojo, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing all right.
Jeremy said, "Have you ever heard Dreams by Fleetwood Mac?"
Yeah, I tell you, it was one of my first albums when this stereo system you see that I got behind me back here. One of my first albums was a Dire Straits. I got Fleetwood Mac, Tusk, Boston, Don't Look Back. But I remember one of my first, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Fleetwood Mac was a double album. Tusk was.
See, that song has had a huge comeback lately. There was some guy that broke down, so he got on his skateboard and skateboarded to work, videotaping himself lip syncing to the song,
Okay.
and it went viral. Mick Fleetwood copied him doing
I
that.
heard. I saw that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw part of that. Yeah.
And then the Cranberry Juice Company, because he was drinking cranberry juice along the way, they sent him like cases of this cranberry juice.
Right. I did see that.
But it created a record. Was it 43 years after it first hit the charts? That album, Rumors, is back on the charts now.
Awesome.
It's the
But
only.
that was to me again one of my most my favorite first 5 albums because it was just so different of everything you were listening to on the radio. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Fleetwood Mac was one of those groups too that they only have a couple of songs that would get on the radio. You know what I mean? They didn't. To me, they weren't like albums like, and I know people hate to hear this, but like Journey and Led Zeppelin and Leonard Skinner. It's almost you can listen to every song. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Boston's like that. You know, it's just there's not hardly a bad song on there.
Okay, here we go. Lori has one. She goes, "I love the group Blackberry Smoke. Would recommend to anyone looking for newer music. That's actually good."
I'll have to look into that. I haven't either. I'll tell you, I saw something interesting last night on Austin Limits. It was the Mavericks, and they were singing in Spanish, which is pretty cool for about 15 minutes, and then I fell asleep.
Oh, is it Ricky? Don't lose that number.
Yes, that's it. Ricky, don't lose that number. You're the grand prize winner, Cheryl. Ding, 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 ding.
There we go.
That's it. Ricky, don't lose that number. Ricky, don't lose that number. It's the only one you got. I'm assuming the number is a joint in that song. That's what I always referred to it was when they said, "Don't Ricky, don't lose that number."
There are so many people that interpret songs certain ways. Like they have that same thing about Puff the Magic Dragon, that kid song.
Yeah.
They're saying it's all about smoking marijuana.
That's There's one that was I want to say it was Black Oak, Arkansas. But it was an old song, and it was about brothers that found a bag of weed and they take a trip and never leave the farm. That was always a pretty good old song. Take a trip and never leave the farm.
Roberto, I think his name is. Apparently, he suggests the song "You're So Vain" by Carly Simon.
I like that too. That's thing is that those are some ones you remember as a kid. They were all playing those at the same time. There was always on the radio at night. I remember hearing those songs because again, I everything I look back on life, first things I remember is something that connects me to music. You know.
Well, even Val said, "Hey, 19 is my favorite Steely Dan song, and I listen to country music every day on 94.9 The Bull."
All right, Val.
Was that a plug? I think she just plugged that station.
There you go.
Oh, and Andy came back. Remember I told you he's going for the cheap pop with China White? He said, "I admit I was going for the cheap pop, but it helped me to learn the rhythm to shift gears when I was learning how to drive a 5-speed properly."
There you go.
I can see that. Yeah. Jeremy said he's really into old school slow jams and old school R&B.
Well, did anyone hear that? Listen to that song called "The River" from Ted Draldowski, and the CD. It wasn't an album because I couldn't find an album. It was called Scissors Hands, and the song was called "The River." Now, if everybody wants to hear a really cool psychedelic, over the top heavy metal blues tune, listen to that and then get back with me on that one, because I'm gonna tell you something. If I want to impress somebody with a song, that's the one I usually pull out of my hat.
Really?
If I want to, like, it's called "The River," and the artist is called Ted Draldowski, I think is his name. The CD was called Scissors Hands, I believe.
Let's see here.
And
Oh,
the
yeah,
song,
there he is.
and then the song is called "The River."
Scissormen.
Scissor Man. Okay.
There we go. Okay, so there's another suggestion for people to listen to.
Listen, I'm telling you guys, this is I heard this. Now I listened to, of course, the Weevil, and when I hear something like this, I order the album or a CD immediately. And this is one of those songs I heard. I said, "Wow, I don't know who that is." I called the guy Brett Fleming, who runs the show So Stew on Weevil, and got the name of the thing and ordered it. But I'm telling you, it's now the whole. I'm not saying anyone to go out and order the CD, because it was really only that and one other song that I was interested in. That was really the only two good songs on it. So don't buy the CD. I just got it for my sound system. I mean, that can handle a lot of heavy music and heavy bass. That's one of those songs. I'm not kidding. I can make my album covers vibrate with that song, dude. It'll make you. Huh?
I attest to that.
Have you heard it?
Yeah, the very first day I was down there, you were showing me the bass on that thing.
It's crazy, ain't it?
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. Let me see. Lori here said the song is actually "You're So Vain" by Carly Simon. It's easy listening, similar to Steely Dan. It is very similar.
Yeah.
Andy came back here too. No disrespect to country music, but I'll admit I love me some Johnny Cash, but that's the extent of my country music liking. Him and Leonard Skinner.
Well, this is the thing is Johnny Cash wasn't really all country either. If you think about Johnny Cash, he never really sang. He just sort of told a story. You know what I mean? He's almost like a rapper. And his last album actually was produced by a guy who produces rap albums right before he died. That's when he did that song called "Hurt" from Nine Inch Nails, which it made a major comeback. But this is the thing is, again, this is, if you watch this show called Country Music, this documentary, I think you'll come out really understanding country music and find out you always have been a country music fan. You just don't know it, because that's where it all started too. This is, again, everyone, for me anyway, I want to have my vision this wide where I see everything, even behind me if I can. And music, I definitely want it like that. So if I can find, I'm not gonna I don't like the Carter Family at all. I don't think there's one song I really what was that had one of those hymn songs that everyone listens to, but it wasn't like I don't have one Carter album, but I want to know about the Carter Family.
Mm-hmm.
What they meant to country music, who all the people laid everything out, what the story. And then you hear later on in the other episode, you hear about Emmylou Harris and what she was on both sides of the line. She was rock, country, everything. What a human being in the music she was or is,
Well,
just great.
everybody adds something to the genre, whether
Right.
you like them or not, there is something there.
Right. Well, she's her and a guy named Graham Parsons, something like that. That's when the switch started from like country to rock and roll, and she was there, and she's the one sort of passed the ball over to that. Again, it'll be on the next episode or so, but it's really cool to see how that went. This Graham Parsons, I can't think of his name right now, but he was a rock and roll guy that was going country, and then that's when when I tell people this is where we see the song Purple Rain from Dwight Yoakam. That's when we see artists like Lucinda Williams. They all started changing from country music to this new, country's got a rock, edge to it. Like Jason Isbell is another good artist. Man, he does a really good tuition, a remake of a song from Guy Clark called Desperados. It's really good.
Oh, nice. Craig put in here, he goes, we always have Elvis playing in our house. My kids love it better than that stuff on TikTok. And then he added, Blackstone Cherry does an amazing Burning Love cover.
No, I like Elvis too, because being this close to Memphis, you got to like Elvis.
What was that called? Blackstone Cherry.
Yeah, Blackstone. I have to look that up. Yeah.
Stone.
Now the thing about music too, everyone. Now I'm in the future for music. I'm looking at things that are coming up, and that's the cool thing about this. Like the Ken Burns thing, and all these people laid out all the music before us, and that's what we're seeing. All these changes again. Like I'll go back to Lucinda Williams, where she was just playing, country music artist back in the 80s, and now she's just sounds like just got an edge to it that's unbelievable. Same thing with Dwight Yoakam. When you see how, and the thing is that everyone is doing this in the music industry, and that's why they're calling it retro. Everybody's going to Nashville. Like a couple of years ago, the Doobie Brothers went back and they did every Doobie Brothers song with a bluegrass hint to it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would
cool. You know what I'm talking about?
That would be very cool.
Well, that's why Nashville right now is like one of the hottest places in the world for music, because everybody's going back to, Robert Plant's got a house there, the Black Keys, Jack White, or I think that's who it is. I mean, they're all in Nashville now, man.
Andy even said here, Wheel in the Sky by Journey was his powerlifting song back in high school.
I liked big Wheel in the Sky, Journey. Journey was one of my favorite groups when I was a kid. I had every one of their albums, every one of their CDs, or back in the days it was cassettes. But no, Journey was one of my favorite groups. This thing about Journey, there's another one of those bands that every song was a good song, but they didn't have a Stairway to Heaven.
No.
You know what I mean?
I think Keep on Believing. No. Oh man, I'm really drawing a blank on songs today. I apologize. Don't Stop Believing. No, that's Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna look it up. They only had one song that I knew had any notoriety, and that's because it was used in the finale of The Sopranos.
Right.
It made it bigger.
Now, does anybody watch any wrestling this past week? I watched a little bit Wednesday night.
We'll see if we can get some comments on that. Dean did have a question. He goes, Sid, what's the COVID situation like in your area, and how are you filling your days?
Man, it's funny you brought that up. I just had to recently go take a COVID test, everyone, because I did what I told everyone not to do. And all it was is I've got allergies, and because I've got allergies, I have to get, antihistamine or one of these mega dose of those little steroid packs, prednisones. And to even get that, they said, well, have you been anywhere that you could have got COVID-19? I said, well, I did start going back to the gym last week. And just cause of going back to the gym, that put me at risk, So I had to go get a COVID-19 test just to get a prednisone. It was 7 prednisones and a couple of antibiotics. So that scared the crap out of me. Rob knows that. We talked every morning, and I knew it was just my regular allergy crap. But they had me scared with that. I'm scared to go back to the gym now. I'm going to go tomorrow morning, but last day I went, what I did was I parked my truck right by the back door and I walked in, did a sit and walked back out. It's crazy to be that uncomfortable, but I'm torn right now what to do. I really am.
And it sits in the back of your head too. Like you said, you knew it was your allergies, but it still
Right.
sits there, you know?
Well, you sit there all of a sudden, it's worse this time of year for allergies too, and all of a sudden my breathing's a little labored more, and I'm thinking, oh shit, you know. Then you go, okay, because that one day I did everything I wasn't supposed to do. No, I went to the gym in the morning, then I went to the church, and we had a sock and shoe drive, which I was around a lot of people wearing a mask, but still I'm moving it. I'm all day in a mask, all day around strangers. Ended up stopping it. He got me a something to go at a restaurant. The place I felt safe in, the sushi place. You can only get in a mask. You can't even come in. That's the place I felt safe. I ended up getting 2 tacos. That's where I think I got a little food poisoning. But I did everything that I was supposed to do. So through that week, that I knew it was just my allergies. I'm sitting there going, man. Of course, who knows? I mean, I've been stopped up for 6 months. You know that, Rob.
Yeah.
But I had been scared to death that I had it. Now, even yesterday, I was in my 3rd day of my antibiotic. I took it yesterday morning, or no, this morning. As soon as I took it, I started feeling sick. I was like, oh my God, this is a reaction COVID has to antibiotics. I'm not kidding. I was like, guys, I'm not. Y'all could all laugh your asses off because it was funny. I mean, I've cleared out my refrigerator. I washed everything, put everything in. I've washed everything out of the refrigerator, and I took every drawer out, put it in the dishwasher, sterilized everything, threw everything out, and all I've had is just an allergy problem,
Mm-hmm.
But again, like I was talking to my uncle, who he's the one that heads that AIDS clinic. He said he's no way he's going to drop his guard now. He's gone too long. When now we got vaccines coming, that it's be stupid to go out there and get the virus now.
Yeah.
And this is something too. I haven't since this all the news stuff. We haven't been really following news anymore. I forgot the cases were getting bad till just the other day. I saw that they're getting like worse than they were, not worse than they are, equally as bad. There was over 2,000 people died one day.
Yeah.
But remember, the thing is about it, it's 2,000 now. Well, I remember telling you, Rob, that they said a week ago it could get to 3,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, who cares, But it scares me, guys. I'm telling you, and this is what happened too. So you get to experience these kind of experiences, however you say that. All right, so to go again to get just a stupid antibiotic and a prednisone, I've got to go way outside in the parking lot and get my nose swabbed. But during that, I see a girl who probably in 2019, something like that, comes out of the doctor's office and she's in tears. Now I've got my windows down to get some fresh air coming through, so I don't want to seem rude, but I don't want to get out and like give her a hug. I just said, "Ma'am, are you okay?" But so again, have not for myself. If I would have followed, not gone to the gym and maybe not gone to the church and whatever, I would have, not had to go through that protocol just to get an antibiotic. But doing that, I sort of put myself in that, that COVID line. You see, somebody's crying for something. She either got it, her mom got it, or somebody's got it.
It's not good news.
And so that's the closest I've been to something like that. So that also brings up your senses. Like, whoa, man, I'm too damn close. I'm in a COVID line to get tested to get an antibiotic. Wow. So that's the kind of restraints we're going to have if we put ourselves in those positions. And that means in an environment that you can contract it.
Let me see. I'm going to go back over here. Stephen Clark said, "Hi, I'm in my 3rd year on Cyber Time Bite with over 100 episodes, and I'll see you guys in 3 years when you're over 100 episodes." Well, thanks, Stephen. I remember talking to Stephen, actually. Yes. Lori also said, "My uncle introduced me to Black Oak, Arkansas with his record collection. Thanks to him, I also became a huge fan of Blackfoot."
Yeah, I love Blackfoot, man. what is that one, Lori Blackfoot? I've got. Hold on a second.
We're gonna pull it out of the library. Oh, and Stephen, you were asking about the artist for the river. It is Ted Drodowski. Ted Drodowski sings the river.
Lori, it's funny you said that.
Blackfoot.
That to me, I got that album for that one song. What is that? The Train song, right? If anybody wants to hear a Train song, great recommendation, Lori. This is it. I bought the album just for that's like the most historic Train song of all Train songs.
Blackfoot. And see, I don't know if I've heard Blackfoot.
No, that's a good group.
And see, that's the thing. I'm a DJ in the off time too. I did weddings and things like that.
Right.
But I only ever hear top 40 or
Right.
Beat It, Footloose, Celebration.
Right.
The same
right.
songs over and over again. Okay. And then while you were gone, I answered this for Stephen. He said, who's the river, the artist for the river? And I told him it was Ted Drodowski.
Drodowski, yeah.
Yes. Let me see here. Dean says, what's your favorite British band, Sid? And what do you think of British music compared to American?
No, I like a lot of the British groups. Of course, everybody likes the Beatles, but Eric Clapton, I mean, there's nobody I don't like over. Of course, they just copied everything we were doing here, tried to be Elvis, which the Beatles never was Elvis, but just joking. But no, no, I loved all of I'm trying to think of the group. Guy was Stone Temple Pilot. Then he went out and did a group, Slayer. No, not Slayer. Audio Slave.
Okay.
Then they did a group after that, just before he passed away. Revolver.
Oh, Velvet Revolver.
Velvet Revolver.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool like that. The Cult. I'm not sure where they're from, but the Cult's a great overseas band.
I don't know.
I'm talking.
I'm just trying to think what my favorite British singer would be. And I don't know. You're right. There's so many.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones.
And it's weird. I don't actually see it as British and American. I just see it as music.
Yeah, me too. I until he said that, I would have not thought that. I would have not divided anyone up like that.
Andy said, have you ever contemplated a music career, Sid? You could pull it off, I think. A little country rock mix for a song called Master and Ruler.
This is the thing is, if I could have done anything, that's what I would have done first. It would have been probably a baseball player, but man, I would have loved to have been Johnny Cash. I mean, that I could have lived that. That's something, again, just there's a passion there for me for that. Sometimes I'll, like last night after watching Kim Burns, the country music thing, I just couldn't go to sleep thinking about that, trying to put some that on some paper today.
Jeremy mentioned, he goes, there's some great singers that I also like. The names are Alan Jackson, Tracy Lawrence, Brooks and Dunn, Hank Williams Jr., Randy Travis, Travis Tritt, and Alabama.
Now, that to me, I like Travis Tritt. That was about as country music was changing to me. Hank Williams Jr. was in that good range there too. He was sort of, to me, it was changing a little bit too much. And you had David Allan Cole. That was still fun times, but that was on the times it was really getting to where it is like today with Taylor Swift and stuff like that. And I'm just not into that.
That's the 90s country there when you get into Alan Jackson and Tracy Lawrence, Brooks and
Yeah,
Dunn.
and I liked Alan Jackson. I remember we were listening to that, but a lot of that was played on regular radio stations. Alan Jackson was, he was a crossover with that one song he had. But again, no, I loved all those groups too. But that's not, you're not going to see. I think Hank Williams Jr. is on this documentary last night just because of his father, not because of himself. That Hank Williams was only 29 years old when he died.
He was young. I didn't know it was 29.
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
The Shakespeare hillbilly. Didn't know how to, and he didn't need chords, and they didn't know how to write things. He just wrote stuff on a piece of cardboard and stuff like that.
Well, he did a darn good job.
No, Rob, but that's the thing is, I wish I had the accurate number. The amount of songs he written and recorded by that age like that. If he could live just another 6 weeks, it would have been 2 million more songs. He just could write a song on a piece of paper in a phone booth. It was just amazing. And they were all #1 hits. They just one hit after another, man.
Andy says here, speaking of the gym, I'm down 8 pounds since the last time we talked. Baked chicken and cutting down on soda big time.
That's it for me too, Andy. If I stay away from the sodas, I don't really have to diet. I started back really crunching down my diet back today as well. We got away from the cornbread and the fried chicken and stuff. I just went back to baked chicken, rice, peas, and cabbage. Just a fresh vegetable, bean, a white meat, and that's what I'm going to stick to get these next few pounds off. And I'm going to really try to shed these next few pounds before Christmas.
Well, Cheryl's question is good then. Are you preparing the traditional Thanksgiving dinner?
Sure I do. I've got this lady. I know she's not going to have a Thanksgiving because her family's going to be away. So I'm going to make up turkey, a plate for her and take to her. I'm going to do something like baked chicken and some dressing and sweet potato pie or something like that and take it to her.
I think that's cool. Oh, and then Lori did chime in here earlier, but I didn't get it. It says Train, Train, great song. Highway Song by them is good too. That's Blackfoot.
Yeah, Highway Song. Yeah, I love that too. Yeah.
Oh,
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's on the same album, Train and Highway Song.
And Dan has said here, have you ever been to Ireland?
Yeah, I have. It's been a long time ago. It was like in my first run in WWF. I'll be honest with you. I never was really impressed with overseas. It was the food was never good. It was the buildings weren't great buildings. It was again. It was a tough way to make a buck being on tour like overseas. You were in a tour bus the whole time. You didn't have any privacy and stuff like that.
So you didn't really get to see anything except the hall.
Inside the hotel, the gym, and the tour bus. And if again, you're driving so many hours a day, if you missed a workout or, missed a meal, you might miss your bus, so it just was, I'm not going to take the day off from the gym to go sightseeing, some walkway or something.
Yeah. Well, no, especially then, like you said, that was your business. That was your job.
Right.
So you had to focus on that. Jeez. So coming up for this week, were you going to be doing anything for Thanksgiving?
Who, me?
Yes.
I was going to. I had two dinners I was invited to, but after them saying not to do anything, I decided not to go to either place. And then when my friend Ann, who's almost 90 years old, her grandchildren are coming in down in South Tennessee, and they wanted her to drive down, and she didn't want to go down and take the chance because she's going to be by herself. So I was thinking just making myself something here and then take her a plate. That way she'll have a plate for herself that night.
I think it's a great idea. Well, if you're alone and I'm alone, maybe we can be here too.
Hey, that's what we could do. That's a good idea.
You think so?
Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we could do a Thanksgiving. I'm up for it.
Okay. Well, everybody, get your questions ready for Thanksgiving. We got that. Andy, he came back here. Says, I went from soda daily to once a week. I myself got bummed out on cabbage early on.
Yeah.
My sweet mother, who still says thank you for the prayers and continues to call Sid Sam on accident. Made corned beef and cabbage daily for almost a month straight.
Well, this is the thing is, Andrew, and Rob can tell you, I've been eating cabbage now for 6 months straight. Other than I changed it up here a little bit the last couple of months. But this is the reason I go to that, and I'll go back to this. So I was making those elaborate meals that was taking me, I'm making my own stock for my soup and my own stock for my beans and stuff and all that crazy shit like that. But today I did the quick deal. I just did all my chicken, baked it, did my rice, I did a couple cans of peas, did the fresh cabbage, and I had just as much taste in that and 1/10 the work in it. Now this is what happens about diet is that it can become overwhelming. So now I've got the same amount. I got more quality food. It's going to last me longer days, and it's easier to get to. And I don't have any cleanup. I mean, boom, 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 I'm done. So when we start making diet complicated like I did, next thing I know, I'm finding myself cooking night to night, which that's okay too. But now I'm cooking okay, instead of cooking chicken every day, I'm cooking steak every other day, and then you catch yourself putting stuff back in. And when I went through that, everybody knows I went through that blueberry cornbread phase, and then I finally got out of that. Of course, I will make some of that for Thanksgiving, but no, but that's what happens. I burn myself out on that rich food, the fried chicken and the meatloaf and the pork chops and all that, and I'm ready to get back to this. And I would usually wait till January, but I've already started back actually today. So, but no, actually today I was so pleased how just that bite of cabbage. You think about cabbage too, everyone. The reason I use cabbage is it's one of the foods like spinach, anything leafy, it'll take on other tastes. And so, and I'm not telling anyone to do this, but in a head of cabbage, I might use 2 slices of bacon cut up in there, half of onion, and then some garlic in that and some sea salt. That's it. But I could taste that garlic. I can taste that little bit of bacon with that little taste of sea salt in that cabbage. The thing about it is, though, Andy and everyone, this cabbage is so short-lived. It's gone so quick. We're hungry minutes after we eat it sometimes. And that's the downside to a clean diet like that. And sometimes we almost do eat it. It's so gone so quick. Our stomach starts saying, man, I'm hungry. And what they're saying is that food's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of my favorites is cabbage rolls, and it's the same thing,
Right.
Other than the meat inside, I go through those things so fast.
Right.
But
No, but again, it's one of those things that's just easy for me. I know I put all that cabbage in one thing, and by tomorrow I'll have the cabbage and peas down to one pot, put my chicken in there as I go. And then again, if we're really serious about losing weight, we want to get ourselves into these type of grooves to where because I'm a testimony to that. Even if me, strong-willed Sid, I came out of this and went to fried chicken, because I could only eat baked chicken for so many months myself, and I had lost all the weight I could, and I really was dieting hard, and I really come to a standstill. So I said, okay, I'm going to adjust my diet and then come back to it, because this is what I found out. This is the thing about it, everyone, when we're dieting, is that because we're animals, our body acts in defense in different ways. We have different defense mechanisms. So when we get down to very little fat, our body then wants to store every little bit of fat we got, and it wants to make that fat grow. And I know. So what happens? This is the thing about going back to the gym. I get to ask people questions about things like that. But that's what happens when we get down to that little bit later fat, and that's why we always go, God, it's so easy to put it back on. Well, it's not sort of easy. It is easier. You can put it on much faster. You take it off because your body is trying to keep that to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, that's why we don't even. I don't care if you find body fat in you somewhere. What it is your body's saying you're not gonna kill me. You know what I mean? It's trying to survive. But again, on that, but when you get down to your basic food groups, I as soon as I had that plate of food, I felt like $1 million because I had, the rice, the whole grain rice, and that. I had the cabbage that comes out of the ground. I had the beans, and I had that chicken. And I just don't think you can eat any better than that. Again, it gets boring after a while,
Mm-hmm.
So then get used to it, but then do like I did, see it and go, okay, I'm bored with this. So I'm going to take my time out. But when I take this time out now, so what I did now, I didn't eat fried chicken every day. I still was baking it, but I was doing it in a cast iron skillet, which is just a new way of doing it and much faster too. But again, I wasn't doing enough of it where it was easy to keep around. I do enough for one night. The next day I'm redoing it. Where today I did 10 pounds, 10 chicken quarters altogether, So that's enough to last me a couple of days, just boom, warm. Again, when you're dieting, if it's at your where you can get it really easy, you won't make mistakes. Of course, I'm already dreading Wednesday because I know that's going to be chicken salad day. By Tuesday, my vegetables be gone. I'll be down to chicken. I already got the eggs and mayonnaise to make the chicken salad, but I'm not looking forward to that. I didn't look forward to today. When I went to the store to get this for the first time, I was like, man, just going to the store picking up this Boeing stuff was no fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then until I ate, and then I was like, okay. I think
Joel, I was just gonna say, Joel added here too. He has no soda, only light salt, lean meat, chicken, Gatorade, and bottled water. So he wants to get his weight down to 235, I guess, and 8% body fat.
That's good, man. You do that, you'll get there.
Absolutely. All right. Any last words for today then, Sid?
Man, no, I guess we'll do one Wednesday. What time?
Do you want to do it Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday's Thanksgiving.
Thursday, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Thursday. Let's do it Thursday.
Okay. Whatever time works best for you, because this is your show. It's a holiday, so I got the whole day off.
Let's do this. We'll post it and everybody know. I just want to find out when I got to take that dinner to that lady, and be sure to got that out of the way. But I'm gonna get started early Thursday morning, get it out of the way and everything. So I'm gonna try to get it to her by lunch.
Perfect.
But now, what does everybody else? Because usually on Thanksgiving there's nothing going on besides that one football game. So
we should find out when the football game's on too. Make sure we're not then.
Let's do that. So everyone, we'll post when we'll do it Thursday. So we're looking forward to talking to everyone Thursday afternoon.
Excellent. Thanks so much for being here, Sid.
Thank you, Rob. Thanks everybody for tuning in to The Vicious Circle.
You've been listening to the Vicious Circle podcast. Your host, Sid Udi. Co-host, Rob Bellamy. Additional research by Pete Marsh. The Vicious Circle podcast is produced by Two Cousin Road Trip Productions, a division of JX3 Media Productions. The intro music is Unleash the Giants by Cemetery Spawn, and the outro music is Digging Space by Mike Treblecott.